Dang, how do I get this camera right? Ooh, that's bright. Hello, my child. Hello. Maybe a little bit lower. There we go. That looks nice. Looks fine. Hey, what's up, fam? I want to share some things that have helped me with my life. Keep up the good vibes. It's a little protocol here. Because life is a battle. Life is war. Life is constantly attacking us. We often stagnate. And I'm doing okay for myself, and I've just found things that have really helped me, that are easy to implement, that you can do too, that I think could be of value. I'm not recommending you do this. I'm just offering what has helped me and suggesting this could be of great benefit if you're open to trying them. And also talking about some other things in this crazy world. So, yeah, what's really helped me that I recently implemented are these blue blocking UVEX Skyper blue blocking glasses, whatever they're called. And I wear these when the sun goes down, hopefully as soon as you can, once the light starts to leave us each night. And what it does, it blocks all the blue light, even in the peripherals, so you really have none coming into your eye. And this is really, really helpful because your brain can start to produce melatonin properly, and you're going to get much better sleep. I found it's worked immediately and has been very phenomenal because I can fall asleep much faster, and I believe the brain even reaches deeper sleep quicker too, so you ultimately are getting just much better sleep, and it's super easy. $10 for a pair of these on Amazon. I got 3 of them because I got 2 for my bros, and it's been really phenomenal having these on. They're cool too. It just looks awesome through these glasses. I don't know if you can see, but cool, super orange effect here. Beautiful, like rose-colored glasses. Very, very helpful. Really helps with sleep and feeling more vibrant in the morning. Other thing I've been doing a little bit here and there, especially easy in the summer, is cold showers. Now, where I live, it gets so hot that the cold water isn't even cold. It's lukewarm, so it's easy to do. That can really help stimulate your body, keep you awake, especially if you're doing it first thing in the morning. It'll, snap you awake, put your body into a shock state. I even heard from someone who made a suggestion, and I found this was very true and very helpful, was if you're switching the water from hot to cold, back and forth, and you're basically turning it to as hot as you can take it, stepping out of the water till it's like as hot as it can be, or at least as hot as you can face, and you step into it and you deal with that for like just a minute or two. You step out of the water as you're showering, turn it to the coldest it can go, you wait till it reaches that temperature, you step back in, and you're basically going between incredibly hot and incredibly cold and putting your body into a much greater degree of shock. This can be very difficult, but for me it's really helped because it puts the lymphatic system into a state of shock and starts expelling a lot of the waste. So even within the span of that, say, 7-10 minute shower you're taking, you can, at least in my case, begin to just like a lot of mucus starts coming out, and it can be really profound. I don't really believe in hot showers as something to do every day. Here and there, like before bed to relax, sure, but our tap water, what we're showering in, is full of chlorine. And when we're blasting hot water in a shower, we can fill up the whole bathroom with that chlorine gas and breathe it in, and it can make us even more lulled. Like the hot shower already relaxes us and puts us in that kind of lulled state. And breathing in the chlorine does that more so, and it's not very healthy. So showering in cold water, I have a shower filter. It's not a super expensive, high quality thing, but it's been nice to implement. I don't know if you can see, it's pretty dark in here, but a nice little filter. There's even like a scented pod here that makes it more of like a rose scented water. It's really cool. Just a shower in cleaner water. Been a big help. Feels cleaner. Skin thanks me for it. So yeah, that's been really profound to do. What else? Grounding. Grounding is interesting. I wanted to talk about grounding. It's a bit controversial, but I believe there is some very real science about properly ridding yourself of the improper electric charge throughout every cell of your body, because living in this society where we're not connected to the earth, you may be living high up in an apartment building in a city wearing rubber shoes all the time and you're not connecting with the grounding of the earth. You know, we have these, when we plug in our plugs, our power cables, we usually have a grounding, that third prong that connects the excess electrons, the excess energy, goes straight into our earth and helps keep our electrical systems in a more nominal state of energy. Everything's more grounded, doesn't you don't build up excess energy. This happens in our bodies. So even grounding for just a couple minutes can immediately help get your charge right. And it can seem very like pseudo, but there is a very real science to this. So grounding barefoot in the earth is a tremendous thing. If you were to do that every day in some dirt and some grass, I've just noticed it's so soothing and helpful to connect with nature. So I have one of these grounding mats I recently put in my bed, and I've noticed it really helps. It supposedly helps with inflammation, just feeling even cleaner and more refreshed when you sleep, and getting better sleep at night. I really love those things. So the blue blockers with the grounding mat really supercharging your sleep. The showers, really good way to clean and refresh yourself. Again, not again, but multivitamins are a big one. This is what's really helped me. I'm out of mine, but I really like the K-Pax, KPAX multivitamin is really nice quality. You can like take 4 a day and start implementing all these vitamins and minerals into your system that most of us, at least in America, even if you're eating a healthy diet, we're lacking a lot of stuff. We're lacking in our boron, our selenium, magnesium, zinc, potassium. There's so many things our body really needs that we're deficient of because we're not really being conscientious about it. A lot of people poo-poo supplements and stuff and think it's silly, but if you can get high quality supplements and start implementing that into your diet, you're going to see profound change because your body is just fueled properly. It's like our body is a car. We're driving around and we're out of power steering, or we're out of like our coolant fluid, or even our brake fluid, whatever. We might be able to manage, but it's going to be very problematic down the road a lot more quickly if we're not assessing real important stuff. And I think it's just so profound when you start to care for the body properly, implement the right stuff. Sure, there's more to life. Life is a spiritual journey. It can be very difficult. Even if you're super healthy, it doesn't mean everything's going to become easy and all your problems are going to be solved. And I've been one to go maybe too far down the path of this health pursuit because it can be very self-serving. And again, there's more to life. There's more to be done than just trying to preserve our physical body. But these things are very helpful. I think it's less about just trying to keep your body perfect or whatever, and it's more about learning those routines that are really helpful and take us to a better spiritual plane or whatever, because a lot of us, we just aren't there. And I've been there where, you're eating Doritos in the bed all day watching videos of the queen turning into a reptilian or something goofy. I've been in that place where I've just not taken care of myself, where it's smoking and drinking coffee first thing in the morning and then Captain Crunch for lunch. And oh my god, I've been there. It's horrible. And we can reach such profound states when we just implement the right things, the right routines. I really believe in cleansing and fasting. I've never done like a really 3-day or long fast before, but even just taking a whole day to abstain from foods, still have water, I believe it's good to have water, and clean the body out can be so helpful. So I've always had a good outlook about fasting here and there because it can be so helpful if we really plan ahead and take good protocol. But again, I'm not suggesting you just stop eating food. It's just what's helped me in my journey. There was something else I wanted to talk about for health. I feel like there was another point. Do I have notes here? I may have covered everything. Yeah, just getting our lighting right. I don't really like LEDs or fluorescent lights for sure. LEDs can be okay if you get the nice like orange lighting at night, but those salt lamps, those Himalayan that are incandescent lights are really amazing. I really love it. It sets the mood, makes the house really nice. I also got some nice flowers and stuff just to make the space a bit better. Incense smells, if you burn oil, stuff like that can really be good for the brain. good for your emotional body. But also going to talk about the parasite topic. So I'm big into cleansing, big into health and stuff, and it's kind of been a battle because I struggle with it too. I'm just something I've been so passionate about. And man, the topic of parasites is pretty wacky because they're kind of everywhere. It's a part of nature. But there's three ways of thinking, the 3 steps I've gone through that I think other people go through when they look into it. Because it might not interest you, it might seem crazy, but the first step for me was learning about parasites, right? And realizing, holy moly, we have these like foreign entities living on our body, sucking our energy, sucking our nutrients for their own gain, right? Some of them might not cause much of an issue, but a lot of them are taking what they can get because over the process of evolution, which is somewhat true, certain beings became really good at living off of other ones, regardless, whether or not it was beneficial for that host. And over time, over millions of years, these things have evolved and become sort of masters of their craft. So that first level of thinking was realizing that parasites are a big deal and kind of freaking out because it's like, I don't want tapeworms, it's freaky. But again, this is real. We have to face it. And in America, we think we're all fine. We don't really think about it, but they're pretty prevalent. They're almost everywhere in nature. The second level of thinking, which I mentioned earlier, was realizing they're just part of nature, right? It's like, well, parasites have been around for millennia, and we and other animals that have them can operate pretty much fine, right? We can live okay. It's probably good to still assess this issue of parasites and do what we can, but sometimes it can cause bigger issues when we try to fight them because those mofos fight back. Like those things, when we're trying to clear ourselves, they're good at what they do. They might not be intelligent in a way we understand, but they're very well evolved to operate through human bodies and other animals. They know how to work with these systems. They can be manipulating our moods and cause us to be more inclined towards our lower natures and eating junk foods. They can have a big influence on our psyche. So it can be kind of freaky. The third level of thinking that I came to is after you're already like, well, it's part of nature, we have to just deal with it, and you become less afraid, which is important, is, I don't know if everyone's going to resonate with this idea, but when it comes to parasites, over time, I've realized how amazing it is to be human, right? And to have the consciousness we have. And we're all born so innocent and pure, and we can reach back to those states where we once were, where we're not in our ego, we're in a pure place. And I believe that it truly is sacred and divine and holy to be human. Like it is, we are made in the image of God, and it is a really amazing thing to be part of this experience and, overcome those bad things and realize what we're truly about and what we can do in this world. And we're amazing. We're not these creepy insectoids. We're beautiful. We're gushy, and we're all, it's an amazing thing. So once you really awaken to that, and I think that's a personal realization to really realize how true that is, because maybe you don't feel the same, but from realizing that and then understanding that these entities, these parasitic forces, whether they're cellular and really small, whether they're fairly large, hookworms, all this weird stuff, they suck off our life force, our energy. In a way, they might just be these tiny little creatures, but when you think about how divine and holy our consciousness is, to be human, to fully experience our humanity, and how they strip that from us, and they do such a good job of taking our divinity and our life force, I've begun to realize, and you might too, that these forces are truly like demonic, like very well calculating demons that understand our psychology and our nature and our cycles better than we do. And they know how to operate, and they can, once you start attacking them with the right herbs, they might start laying eggs, and have fortified. There's a lot of methods, and I'm really just getting started on this path. It can be quite a struggle. It can be freaky, but I've done a lot of cleansing things. One thing I wanted to mention, like a lot of herbs are really amazing, and when it comes to parasites, I don't want to go into all the herbs that can help with that because you can get really specific, but something that's really helped me from another channel that I really like, Sacred Serpent, I want to talk about him more. He's been really inspiring. He mentioned the Smooth Move by Traditional Medicinals tea. Smooth Move is a laxative tea you take on an empty stomach before bed. preferably like once a week, but whatever works for you. Or again, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying what works for me, and you might enjoy it as well. Is just clearing out your digestive system, because these kind of things can be profound. Like, I'm pretty skinny dude. I'm not really like overweight or anything, but I've realized that even my digestive system can get clogged up, and it can be such a big, it's why we can feel so bogged out. And I've been so bloated, and I thought I was getting chubby down in my, like, under my belly button. No, like, you properly cleanse yourself, and then within a couple minutes of clearing out a lot of waste, I feel way cleaner, I look way slimmer. It's really amazing to be doing that consistently, because it can really get some stuff out that is stuck within you. And again, I know it's weird, it can be kind of gross, but I think it's a really good thing that we assess. I was a big fan, and I haven't done it in a long time, but I was someone to do enemas. And that can be a pretty wild thing, because you're basically forcing fluid into your lower digestive system and trying to flush out stuff. And I've had some pretty profound experiences, good and bad. I don't suggest that you try this, because you have to be very careful. You have to use very clean water, be very sanitary about it. And when you're doing these things, you can also be washing away a lot of the important bacteria, the gut flora that you need. So I did just want to open up about that, because I've had amazing experiences from it. The process of doing it can be very arduous. Sometimes it's easy and calming and nice, but sometimes, I've realized how much that our large intestine is connected with the rest of our body in ways that people don't understand. People believe, and I made good points, where certain aspects, like if you were to poke or mess with a certain part of your large intestine, it can mess with your right eyeball or your left pinky or your thigh. Like, there's certain parts of it that are connected with the rest of the body. It's really profound, and I realized that once I started sticking fluid into my system, I would get like this surge of energy in my legs, like a restless leg syndrome, and I felt feverish and stuff. Like, it immediately affects the rest of your body, and I'm trying to like hold this fluid in, get through this, and it can be almost like this ego death freaky experience that's arduous. And but afterwards, I'd have amazing feelings where, like, a couple days after, or just it would last for a while, or it would come up after a couple days, were these almost, I know this is weird, but it's sort of like this almost orgasmic feeling, but not in your genital area. It's more in your digestion. So it's not sexual, but it's an amount of feeling in your body that is profoundly clean and beautiful and clear, and it helps with your whole mentality. And it's just like, it doesn't last forever. And sometimes after enemas, that's when I felt like the parasites were fighting back, and the cravings were coming up again, and my acne was swelling up, and shit was getting bad. So it can be very tricky, because again, these forces are powerful, and they fight back when you try to tackle these things. But if you're motivated, and you find something that works for you, by all means, I think we should fight for our health, because it's a big part of this life, and it's a very important. So I don't want to get too much into that. It is a weird topic, the whole parasitic thing. I know there may be much bigger fish to fry. Sometimes you don't need to worry too much about what you're eating, and you have a mission in this life where you just got to fuel yourself and get through it. And sometimes it's really taxing on the human body, but you're meant to do it, because preserving the physical anatomy, again, it isn't the most important thing, but it can be really profound. I think at times it can be paramount that we tackle these things, because I think, the enemy is within. The old Gnostics and early Christianity and mysticism, they believed that Satan wasn't some floating ghostly entity or some demon guy in the underworld. They believed that the devil was a conglomerate of beings within our body that is very small, that is why we have our lower nature and our desires. It's a foreign part of us that's been living us as long as we know, that has been the cause of all our temptations and desires. And in a way, that seems very real. Like, that was before they had microscopes. And they intuitively understood that there's this, like, force that's living within us that's foreign to us. Because I don't think our darker natures, our bad moods and whatever, I've been struggling getting out of a lot of yucky vibes even recently. I don't think it's truly us, and it's nice when we can really awaken to who we truly are and assess the enemy because it gets weird, man. I think sometimes it's an internal enemies we have external things, but ultimately it's both. It's like they're what's the word I came up with? It's transternal. We have these transternal enemies that operate inside and outside of our consciousness or whatever, and we have to assess it. And I think it's a big, like, the going towards cleansing is really huge. So I'm not sure if there's anything else I wanted to talk about in this video. Life can be quite the trial. Life isn't what I thought it would be. It probably isn't for you either. It can be brutal, man, but we have a fighting chance. We can make it so much better if we really work towards this. I believe, like, higher societies used to take much more care of the vessel, that we don't really see as much in the medical industry. I believe that we can reach a place where we put our efforts towards collectively cleaning ourselves physically, mentally, spiritually, and making the world a better place. I believe that we could live parasite free. You know, part of me is like, I don't know if I should eat meat and kill animals, and it's kind of spooky because, you know, cows are so sweet and cute and a little cutie moo, and I don't want to slaughter those little old Bessie. But I don't know, when it comes to parasites, I don't want to eat them. I don't want them around. I don't care for them, and I'm willing to go through a little bit of struggle to make sure they aren't messing around with my experience in my life, you know. I believe they're very real, powerful forces that it can be shocking to realize how much they have a play in our lives. So that's a biggie. I'm not sure if there's really other health protocols that have been, like, good hacks. Of course, diet and exercise are important. I think just having a routine is paramount, and doing things that we know is healthier. Getting out of the house. When I'm out in the sun, I'm not craving those Doritos. I'm not craving all the junk food. I don't need to eat as often. But when I'm in the house and here in this fairly dark house, there's not much light that comes in, and there's junk food in the house, whatever. Not right now, well, there's some. But when I'm in a house where it's full of that and I don't want to leave, it's easier to just not eat meals and you're just snacking all day, spiking insulin. I've struggled with that. I hope I can motivate you and offer solutions, because I wouldn't be surprised if you struggle with that, and it can really bog your lives down. I'll try to go out in the social world and I'll see people I know out of the blue, and I was like living like a loser earlier the day or the whole week beforehand, and just indulging in pleasures and being, you know, lazy, and I have to go meet and be social, and I'm so much in my own head and I'm not taking care of my vessel. It's like, it can be rough. I've been in those places where the karma comes back, you know. You reach some divine justice and you realize, like, oh my God, I don't know how to put myself out there, because I've been in those places, and I'm really getting more motivated because I'm finding those solutions that have been really helpful for me and could be of benefit to you. Yeah, I think cleansing is so important because I'm getting in a lot of, like, better shape than I've ever been, and feeling better and getting a lot more exercise. And I think as important as diet and exercise might be, like, the two pillars of good health. If you want to lose weight, you want to clean out your system and just live better, feel better. But for some reason, I've dealt with this, I know a lot of people do, especially if you're overweight, and you try to start exercising, eating right, it can be so arduous, it can be so hard to get yourself in that place. And the weight doesn't come off very quickly, and you're just so unmotivated. I've been there, and I think what's really helped me is cleansing the digestive system first. If you can take one of those teas, if you can try to eat better before bed, do whatever you can to make sure you're flushing out a lot of the gunk and taking out all those blockages, because then, I mean, if you can start to clean on a cellular level, I've found that, like, I get more muscular gains from exercise more quickly. I feel better. I've just grown so much stronger and clear-minded when it comes to just taking out the waste, which is a lot easier than just trying to exercise and force yourself into this new routine. Getting rid of the waste is so helpful, because I've been around people who exercise way longer per day than I do, and they seem to be really pushing it, and they eat a lot of red meat or whatever, but the change doesn't take on as quickly. They don't see as much change in their physique or their health or whatever, because I believe it's because they didn't do any cleansing. They didn't take care of their body. They just eat red meat or whatever, and they don't really care to cleanse. And not to knock anybody, but I've just noticed that I think what's made my life so much better is first get rid of the waste. So, and man, if there's any other protocols I can advise that have just been so helpful for me, I'm still struggling. I'm still at war in this world. And I have my low days, my low points for sure, but these things have just been so beneficial. I don't want to suggest too many of the herbs, but just exploring herbalism, different teas. There's so many amazing things in nature that are so powerful. I have like hibiscus right here I got from my local herb store. Really cool, very high in vitamin C. Tastes like unsweetened Kool-Aid. Very cool stuff. Schizandra is very powerful. I love Schizandra. It's a berry that supposedly has 5 different flavors in it all at once. It's a very amazing flavor, very powerful. You brew it into a tea for a long period of time. And the ancient Chinese believe this was an incredibly powerful herbal thing that restores your qi and your shen and your all the other levels of health and vitality, because they work in there's different ones. You have the immediate qi, your day-to-day energy, and then there's other ones that's more like your lifespan, your ancestral energy. It gets spiritual. I know a lot of people aren't ready for the more pseudo-sounding degrees of health and all that, but I think there's been profound help when you implement stuff that is just so restorative, and immediately you start to feel stronger and more clear-minded and just amazing. And you can drink Schizandra every day, at least I can, and it's been really helpful. Getting proper sunlight, being out in nature. Man, there's so many cool things, so many cool, amazing herbs. And sometimes just taking a break from the junk, just drinking water. I believe that all this stuff, all these good protocols help keep me, good vibes, help keep me, more confident and keep that light in my eyes, because I think it's not always based in physical, but I think to a large extent when I take these protocols, my best self really can come out and grow and expand. And when I don't, when I stagnate, and when I'm, eating the ice cream before breakfast or whatever it is, because we all go there, of course I'm not who I'm meant to be in those days, and I don't really carry out the purpose when we fall for our indulgences. So thank you for watching. I hope this inspires you. If there's any other suggestions for what's really helped you, that's not too hard for anyone else to implement, that's really uplifting health-wise or just for the mind, leave it in the comments. And again, just thanks for watching. Give it a like, share it if you can, get the message out, criticize me, tell me what I need to be doing, because I'm just very motivated for the ways that we can all improve, because it really helps us make the world a better place. I'm going to stop rambling. I got stuff to do today. I got to get to work and clean up. Oh my God. So peace. Take care.